Hi, I'm Jason.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and this is Grace by the Drop.
And today we're going to be answering the question,
Isn't all truth relative?
isn't all truth relative? I don't know about you, but I've gotten frustrated when people bring this argument up sometimes because I'm trying to talk to them about truth. When people say all truth is relative, it basically shuts down the conversation.
Kind of.
It basically says what you believe is good for you and what I believe is good for me, and there's nowhere to move in the conversation.
That's true.
The first thing that I think we Christians need to think about when we're getting frustrated with this argument is, why do people bring it up in the first place? Why do they believe it? I think there are two reasons why people believe that all truth is relative. The first has to do with our modern day society. The fact that we put opinions like they're facts. Watch any news, watch most of YouTube, watch TikTok and Twitter and all that stuff, and people are just spouting their opinions as if they're straight up fact.
That's true, with nothing to back it up.
That's my opinion.
That's your opinion.
And you will notice we do share our opinions, but we try to state, this is my opinion. This is what I believe. Here's what I think about that.
But I also try to back it up with a personal experience or a life event, some type of what we Christians would call a testimony or something to try and back up proof of why I'm saying what I'm saying and why I believe what I believe.
The evidence for your belief. Exactly. The second thing I think we need to think about is that people use this because they're non-confrontational. And sometimes they just don't want to have the conversation.
I'm not a confrontational person.
And
so when people ask me a question and it sounds like they're wanting to debate, like, oh yeah, well, I don't understand that. That's just ridiculous. And in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm trying to come up with a response to you. However, I don't want to argue with you.
Exactly. I don't want to argue with you.
No, that's not loving and it's not Christian.
If we think that the person that we're talking to is just using relativity as a crutch so that they don't argue, we need to make sure that we are not coming across as combative, argumentative. We need to be very careful in the way that we approach people.
Love your neighbors as you love yourself.
Exactly.
That's what the Bible tells us. Clear and simple.
So how do we answer this question? I believe that the first thing we have to do is know how to combat the argument in a way that makes sense to people, that's very logical. This argument is what we call a self-defeating argument. A self-defeating argument is something that defeats itself as soon as you say it. So when someone says, isn't all truth relative, you can turn it around and ask, is that statement true? Because they're making a truth claim by saying that all truth is relative. And we ask, okay, but is that statement, that all truth is relative, true? If they say yes, then they've just defeated their argument that all truth is relative.
Because what if they say no?
Is it partially true? Is it halfway true? Is it relatively true? They've defeated the fact because they're saying nothing is true, but they're making a truth claim.
I see.
Often, when we approach that truth claim directly with the question that self-defeats it, it frustrates people. So it's usually not a good tactic to be like, well, you said all things are relative. Is that true?
And you're right, because you don't want to be offensive. When someone is asking me a question about truth, I don't want to argue with them. I do better in my ministry individually by knowing someone for a period of time and having developed some type of relationship with them. It's really hard for people sometimes to put a conversation together when you don't really know someone too.
Right. Usually you have to have a relationship to speak into somebody's life.
Exactly.
And that is going to be another video of how to build relationship and how to approach evangelism through what we call relational evangelism.
Okay.
Next, we have to remember that it's hard to live out the belief system that all things are relative. We have to have some empathy for the person we're talking to.
Absolutely.
And realize that it's really hard to live it out. We can be like, oh, it's all good. Your truth is your truth. My truth is my truth. But then when somebody upsets us, we're making a truth claim. You're wrong. That thing that you did was wrong and that upsets me. But if you believe all things are relative, you never get to claim that people are wrong. But it's really hard to live that out in actuality.
That's true. because we all make mistakes. However, it's okay to make a mistake.
We all make mistakes.
It's okay to make a mistake and to
Exactly.
not have all the answers right off the bat.
And so when we're talking to people, we should definitely have empathy and be kind and gracious.
Well, I was going to say, and encouraging.
Yes. How do we deal with this in application?
In application?
You've talked about being kind and encouraging to people. And I believe if we just start asking questions of people, well, why do you think all truth is relative?
Right. Allow them the opportunity to process it mentally on their own, to come to their own understanding. It can't be truth if there's holes in it.
Exactly.
If it's
And
flawed.
so as we ask them questions, it will bring them to the point where we can go back to that statement and say, do you realize you made a truth claim that all things are relative, but yet that's an absolute truth if it's correct.
Right, and it's a healthy conversation. It's not an argument.
Right,
It's
not
information for both of you.
Yeah, we're not attacking them.
Right, oh no.
We're conversing with people, and that's what we always want to do. So if you have questions about how to talk about your faith, if you have questions about relativity or truth, please put them down in the comments. We'd love to answer them in this question and answer format. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and catch us next time when we'll be asking the question.
I don't know.
That's not a question.
That's not my question. I don't know.
Please like, subscribe, and share this video. In the next video, we'll be asking the question.
Is it okay to study other religions?
Thank you for watching. Please comment below, and we'll
Yes,
see
thank
you in the
you.
next video.
Bye.
I don't want you to just be quiet. But
No, I typed in a while ago. I told you.
You did
God
a good
does
job.
his thing. Thanks.
And you keep...
Well, thanks.